What's up everybody, my name is Cap and welcome to my E3 2013 breakdown video. Since I'm the only person on YouTube who's probably done one of these, I know this is all going to be new information to you, but anyway, a lot of people always ask me, like, well, what is your opinion on this and what is your opinion on that? So I thought I'd do a vlog style instead of trying to add in a whole bunch of logos and stuff flashing around there, and just kind of talk about what I've seen from E3 and what I actually like. Now, in case anybody's actually asking, yes, there is a heart sticker on my shirt here. It's from my son for being the best daddy in the world, so I wear it with pride. Anyway, so I'm not going to go into a lot of breakdown about, which console is the best and get onto the wars of all that stuff. All I'm here to talk about on this video is the games that I saw and stuff that I saw over E3 over the first 2 days that I'm really excited about. And start off, I'm just going to go through this in order here. See, I took notes because I'm a nerd. That's what we do. It's easier than trying to remember stuff. Xbox, first day we come out there, he listed it as $4.99. They came out and talked about how they was going to release a new version of the Xbox 360 to look like the Xbox One, and for whatever reason, I can't figure out why they would do that. But I guess if people want to go out and buy a brand new Xbox 360 for those who don't have it, but whatever, don't care. Anyway, so they started off showing off some Metal Gear Solid 5. I've always been a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid series. I love them all the way back to as far back as I can remember. I mean, even the concept of crawling around in a cardboard box. I mean, I do that in real life and still think about it. So, but this one going to the kind of an open world shooter side of thing where you can actually travel from distance to distance, kind of threw in a little bit of like a Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto style gameplay to it with the espionage thing. So that could be really cool. And since Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be on both consoles, I don't know where I'll actually get it. I'm curious if it's going to be on PC. I did not research which ones are exclusives to this, which ones are exclusive to that, who's going to get DLC content first on there. That's a whole nother breakdown video, and I'm not planning on doing that one. So this is just talking about the games I like here. They're bringing out World of Tanks, which is apparently a PC game. I've never played it. I've heard of it. I've seen pictures of it before. Seems like it's pretty popular. It's cool that they did that. Dark Souls 2. Looked pretty amazing. Looks like a slasher. I never played the first one, but on the other side, I don't know. Now, there was a new game called Rise, Son of Rome. It looks like a quick-time event slasher, if I had to put one. A QTE slasher, you can quote me on that. It looked really cool visually, but it seemed like every single battle sequence they were going into was just like, slash, slash, and then it would slow down and just like, press X for a headshot, and then he'd swing 2 more shots, and it's like, press Y to stab him in the face, and it was way too many QuickTime events, so I don't know how often that's in there, because to me, that would like really break up the flow of the battle. I mean, I think like games like Batman, where you can have these huge crowds of people and you just bounce back and forth to everybody whooping some ass and not really thinking about it, real fluid, that popping up on the screen every 5 seconds to click a button to do something else. I don't know, that might slow it down, so I want to see some more about it. Still early in development, who knows, but it looks kind of cool. Killer Instinct coming back to Xbox. Now, that is kind of cool. The reason it's cool is for nostalgia's sake for me. I grew up playing Killer Instinct. Had Killer Instinct on Xbox, or not Xbox, I'm sorry, Nintendo 64. Had the gold cartridge. It was awesome. Favorite character is Black Orchid and Jago. And, well, I liked most of them. It was just a really cool, fun fighting game in the age of when Street Fighter was like the king of fighters. And then you had Tekken and some Virtua Fighter kicked in there a little bit. It was just one of the coolest fighting games out there, but I'm an adult now. I got a family. I play games by myself. I have no intention of trying to play a fighting game online, and it's just, I've moved past the time when I think that would be cool. I'm excited because the next generation of gamers get to experience this, and hopefully they'll have the same level of, appreciation for the game and the same level of excitement for doing these, 30, 40, 50 hit ultra combos, that kind of thing, is really cool. Now, the next game they showed up that I was interested in was called Sunset Overdrive. It's an open world, free-flowing shooter, Mirror's Edge kind of parkour sort of thing. I don't know because it looks like it's pre-rendered, but it looks really cool. I mean, it looks different. Some people's like, oh, it looks all cartoonish and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I don't give a crap. I've never cared what games look like. Could run at 10 frames per second, 8-bit, as long as it's fun. Don't care. So this game looks really cool. I want to see some more about it. What I'm thinking would be fun is if like you and 3 of your friends had this giant city area thing, and it was like, okay, there's 100 zombies or 200 zombies or whatever, scale it up based on the number of people that's there. And it's like, you basically just run around free running, jumping over stuff and sliding down car hoods off of buildings and using your crowbar on a clothesline as you zip across an apartment complex sort of thing, shooting zombies until, see who gets the most kills in the shortest amount of time sort of thing. Because that would be kind of cool. Really just kind of flow it out there. Then they brought out Forza 5. Some people call it Forza. I've always called it Forza. I'm sure it's wrong. I played Forza 1 and 2 a long time ago. They were a lot of fun. But, when I'm racing, I like to kind of crash my cars. And you play online with people that you crash cars and they cuss you out in French. That's my experience of playing Forza here. Minecraft, of course, is coming back. And some people are just like, well, I bought it on PC. I bought it on Xbox 360. And I have to buy it for Xbox One again? Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure that's what it's going to be like. So, if you've never bought it before, that's great. I really wish they would bring out some mod support, texture packs, custom downloadable maps, all that other stuff on console, because that would greatly expand the amount of stuff you do. Also, maybe on the Xbox One version of Minecraft, they'll have it so that the worlds aren't this big. That's my biggest thing with Minecraft on the Xbox is you don't have open world exploration. You got this tiny little map that's about the size of the screen I'm looking at you at right here. Right here. Yeah, that's as big as it gets. And after that, you're just like, well, I've run to the end of the world. Nothing left to explore. Let's load up a new one. Okay, Quantum Break looked really cool with that whole freezing time to change the scenario of an event happening, like when that woman was frozen, mid-blow-on, blood dripping off her finger. That was cool. I want to know how it's implemented in-game. How much time can you stop? How long can you control it, etc. I don't know. Project Spark, I was kind of like, it's a cool concept, but it was like, we integrated Connect voice control with Smart Glass and it crossed over to Windows 8, and I was like, I don't care about any of those. The concept is cool, creating your own little map and doing your little battles in, but I don't know, if you can do all that with control, it might be a cool game. But other than that, I have no desire to use the other things that was on there. Then they went into a little bit more about Smart Glass, and I don't care. I don't care if it's free. I don't care, whatever. It's just not something I want to add to it. No disrespect to those who like it. I just don't care. That's adding something to gaming that I don't care about. They have like an upload studio. So when you're playing a game now, it'll record DVR automatically, and then you can edit your little clips and blah, blah, blah. And that's great because there's not enough people spamming shitty videos on YouTube like this one. But my thing is about having, a theater that allows you to upload instantly is you barely put any effort into making the video, and it just gets spammed out there. You don't have a chance to do color corrections, remove resampling and audio adjustments, add commentaries and overlays and all that other stuff that makes a video good. It's just, here's my video clip, here's a quick little title, throw in a song, blink, 30 seconds upload, multiply by 50,000 a week. So, yeah, I don't really think that's there. Xbox One's going to have Twitch integrated, which is really cool for live streaming. But think about this. Going with the whole Call of Duty thing, since Call of Duty is probably the most widely spread streamed game that's out there. You now, instead of having just people who have a Twitch account and have an Elgato or Hop Hog or Roxy or whatever they're like that, and they got an XSplit and all this other stuff set up so they can stream, and it's a little bit complicated. Now you have everybody that can do it. I mean, they've already shown Black Ops 2 and stuff had built-in streaming that, you can do that, but fortunately you can, it's a little bit more restricted. But if you put it on a console level, can you imagine how much lag there's going to be in an online game if every little 10-year-old in there is trying to get YouTube famous by streaming to Twitch at the same time? I mean, seriously, can you imagine that? Anyway, something I thought was kind of cool, I mean, it's not a yes or no, make or break sort of thing, but they're doing away with MS points and putting in actual money there, based on your local currency. That's been needed since Xbox was released. Their conversion system on how much money versus points you get for that amount, it's just retarded. So I'm glad they're doing away with that. Dead Rising 3. That looks so cool, this whole open world sort of thing. I love Dead Rising 1, Dead Rising 2. I never got to play it, but everything I saw about it was kind of like, I don't know, it seemed a little bit played out, I don't know. But Dead Rising 3 looks like they've changed it up entirely, and it looks really cool. I wish it wasn't an Xbox exclusive. Maybe at least on PC too. I haven't heard whether it is. You can, throw it in the comment section below if I'm wrong. But I don't know. That's a game I want to play, but I'm not going to buy the console for one game. The Witcher 3 looked awesome, open world environment sort of thing. It's one of those games I never played the first or the second one, so I don't have a basis for it. All I have to go by is the pre-rendered trailer and the epicness of it there. It looked cool, and I don't know anybody who said anything bad about the series, so yay, that's awesome. Battlefield 4. Got to see a lot of that over the last couple days here, and I may actually hit up on that because, like I said, I took notes. Anyway, 60 frames per second, which has been Call of Duty's, bragging rights for years. It was like, that's our constant claim to fame. It's 60 frames per second. Well, now all the shooters are doing 60 frames per second, so time to step it up. Activision, 60 frames per second. 64 players online, at least on PC. I don't know if it's just 32 for console. It hasn't really been nailed down yet since it's in pre-alpha here. Dedicated servers, that's a big thing. That's really nothing new there. But it just looks cool. You know, I got into BF3 just a little bit here and there. Ended up playing some solo. I had a lot of fun with it, just messing around. I did horrible at it. I sucked at the game really badly. But it was fun. You know, that was the thing about it. So, anyway, go back to a little bit more. Halo, there's a new one coming out because that's just a given. You know, I don't know what else to say about that. I don't know. I don't play Halo multiplayer. It's not my slice of bread. I don't care. The storyline's always been cool. I love playing co-op on the campaign, and I have nothing against the multiplayer. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying anything like that at all. Just, I've never really got into it. It's just not my flavor. Everybody's allowed to have that opinion without being wrong, where you're a COD fanboy, you're not willing to try something new. That's not it at all. Because that brings me to the next one. Titanfall. That was probably one of the games I'm looking forward to most that they talked about at E3 here. That game looks so cool. I mean, if you don't know anything about it, it's developed from Respawn, which is the original creators of Call of Duty that was with Activision and Infinity Ward, and they packed up their suitcase and headed out. EA took them under their wing, gave them pretty much say, here, make whatever you want to. Here's, truck tons of money, and as much development time as you need to make it, and it looks cool. It's different. So many people are saying, "Oh my God, I didn't want a first-person shooter with mechs in it. Oh my God, I'm not a Halo player. I don't want this futuristic crap." Did you honestly expect them to make another just first-person military shooter? I mean, because there's not any other of those out there on the market. I mean, seriously, you're freaking out and writing it off before it's even out based on that? Seriously, that's just retarded. It looks cool, and the fact that it's done by the COD developers means they know what they're doing. The trailer, everything we saw, there was no trailer. It was all multiplayer footage confirmed by Vince Zampella. He tweeted me back and forth a few times, and that was cool. Fanboy. And, it was run at 60 frames per second. It is dedicated servers. It is awesome. And it's the core mechanics, if you noticed it, that it played like Call of Duty. It was fast-paced. It was real. It was a Twitch shooter, but it was different. It added this new flair to it. And the Titans looked like they would add a new little element to the game without being overpowered. They looked like they was fairly easy to take out without being super vulnerable to they weren't worth it, but they weren't overpowered to where once you got one in, it was like, okay, game over for people who do not have it. So it was really cool. I'll probably talk a lot more about it as we're going along there. So as we move on to page 2, hope you're still with me. We're 12 and a half minutes into this one. EA came out and talked about it. Let me just go back here so you can see me. Are we centered? Okay, good to go. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, a first-person shooter with Plants vs. Zombies. It's a cool concept. Whether I play it or not, I don't know. It looked like a silly game. I loved playing Plants vs. Zombies on my iPhone or my iPad while I was in there dropping a Duke because it's a good crapper game. You can play it for 10 minutes, call it good. Peggle 2, he seemed really excited when he announced it. I never played the original. Couldn't even tell you what it looked like, but yay. More Titanfall, they talked about that there, and that just looked really cool. For the Star Wars fans out there, they got Star Wars Battlefront. I know nothing about it. I'm like this much of a Star Wars fan, like this much. I enjoyed the movies, but I don't care about the games. And that's nothing negative. I'm not saying they're bad or they're good or anything. I just, not my cup of tea. We're going with some serious metaphors here. Need for Speed Rivals. Aaron Paul came out with his badass car on there, which I would gladly drive that Mustang he came out there with. And they're making a movie to go with it. So, I don't know. Need for Speed's come out with a new game about every year since, like, the 90s. I don't even know what version. I don't mean that as a negative thing. Dragon Age Inquisition, they're continuing with that story. And then they came out and did a whole bunch of EA Sports stuff. Never been really into those. I like the Tiger Woods games. I pick up a Madden game every couple of years just to see, because if you go from year to year to year, it's like the same thing, updated roster with a minor little tweaks in there. But the new UFC game that's coming out in 2014, that's cool. If you're watching me and my brother play games on our other channel, you've seen us upload a video or two of that one. It's a lot of fun, so I'm excited to see where that one's coming out with there. I like UFC, becoming more and more of a fan as I get older. Mirror's Edge 2, I never played the first one because it was just one of those that slipped between the cracks I never got to, but I want to. I want to play the next one here. Okay, and then we moved on later that night with the PS4. That reveal was kind of interesting here. And like I said, I'm not going into the console war. That's an entirely another video. I mean, we're at almost 15 minutes now and haven't even got into their section there. $399, which was a $100 difference than Xbox One, which some people were just like, oh, that's it, PlayStation 1 on that one. Like I said, I'm not going into it. They brought out a game called The Order, which it looked like a combination of, like, mercenaries with, you know, modern technology and ancient Rome sort of thing, and it looked really cool. I want to see some more about it. You know, it's hard to judge on just a pre-rendered trailer when you haven't seen any gameplay to see how it's actually going to work with a control in your hand. But it looked like a cool concept. I liked it, the fact that it was different. You know, I've never seen a game like that. If there's one out there, I don't know about it personally, but it looked kind of cool. Killzone Shadowfall looked great. I played a little bit of Killzone 3, I think it was, a couple years back on PlayStation, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It was pretty cool, different flair. It played really well. I had fun with it, but it was one of those that it was like, it wasn't exactly my preference. Well, I ran out of metaphor, sorry. Infamous Second Son, I guess, what's this, part 3? For the Infamous series fans out there, forgive me if that's blaspheming your series. I don't know. I've seen it. I've played some demos of Infamous in the past. It was a lot of fun, but I never really played them. I've seen people play them. They look awesome. But so this one looks even better. Can continue with that. The Dark Sorcerer, that one I don't know about, since it's like there's no gameplay. It was just showing this rendered scene of this high priest was casting some demonic spell. There's a pentagram on there, and then there was this Dolby slash Yoda walks on there and hands him his staff or whatever, and then he forgets his lines, and it cuts back to this like it's a commercial sort of thing. But it was done all in-game engine. It was like very well done. And Maurice, little green goblin, looked like it was freaking funny. So that was kind of cool. Don't Starve, I mean, some of you people saw me play that on, I was doing sort of a let's play with it, and it just kind of faded off. People stopped watching, so I stopped doing it. But it's cool that they're bringing it to actual consoles, because it was a fun game. I actually liked that one. Oddworld. I remember playing the first Oddworld back on, I think it was PlayStation 1. And I think it's PlayStation 1. It's been a while, I can't remember. It was different. It was like this new level of crude humor, but it was a funny game. It was almost like a platformer, but not so much. So it's cool to see that they're bringing it back. It's called New and Tasty, and that sounds kind of cool. Diablo 3, like I said, I don't know for sure which ones that's going to be as far as like exclusives to one console or the other, but the concept of them bringing it to a console, making it easier to play multiplayer, I'm cool with that. I know it's I know it's ported, so the true fans of the series would be like, oh, if you want to play it, you should play PC, you know. But, like I said, I'm not in this gaming to this console over this console, or this platform over this platform. I'm in it for the concept of playing the games and having the fun. And so if they bring it to a median where I can play with my friends, play with family, or whatever, and spread the word about this cool series, because, you know, Diablo is one of those series that's really badass that everybody should at least have a chance to try. And so now this might open that up some more. And you get a big enough following on there, you might have some more people come over to the PC side. Final Fantasy 14, and it was 14, 15. I honestly don't know what sequel they are. I love the Final Fantasy series. I always have. They captivate me for hours upon end. Final Fantasy 13 was a giant flop of a turd, I think. And after that, it left a really bad taste in my mouth, so I kind of just like, whatever. So I'm interested to see some more on this one. Assassin's Creed 4. I've always been a big fan of the Assassin's Creed series. That is one of my favorite series. It's always cool. I've loved every one of them that I've played so far. And this Black Flag one kind of making it so it's no longer back in Roman times or times of Caesar and the times of, you know, back in those days or whatever. Now you're in like Blackbeard and pirates and all this stuff. That's cool. I mean, because it's a similar game, the free flowing that I like in a game, but it's not the same. It's a new game. You know, same mechanics that's fun, but a new setting with pirates, and I like pirates. Watch Dogs. Cannot wait to play some more, or to see some more of that game. I want to play that so bad. That looks so cool. I don't even know what game to compare that to, but it looks so cool. I want to play that. I really do. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, go watch it now. Elder Scrolls Online, right now it's in beta. You can sign up for it. I've signed up for it, hoping I get accepted so I can play it. I'm going to try and get it on PC. It's going to be available on all the consoles eventually, I think. And that's one of the things that me and my friends have always said when we was playing, you know, Oblivion or Morrowind or Skyrim. We'd be sitting there talking, having our little Xbox chat going there, playing our own game, but talking to each other like, man, this would be so much fun if we had a friend in there with us, just to shoot the shit, talk, you know, collaborate, work together, trade weapons, all that other stuff. That was going to be so cool. I hope it stays true to the form and the function of the game while having co-op, you know. Mad Max, a lot of people were disappointed in that because they thought it was going to be Fallout 4. I mean, it did have sort of a similar start to it, so I can see that. I don't know on that one. Going into the concept of where the console war a little bit there, the idea that PlayStation punched Microsoft in the nose with the whole used game section. Like I said, I'm not going into that too much, but the idea that PlayStation will allow it as easy as here's the disc, you play it on your system. Ta-da, that's done. That's excellent. I can't testify enough on why that's so important. That's a big breaking point for a lot of people on the consoles. I don't sell games, but I do buy used games, and I let my brother borrow them, might let a neighbor borrow those, and to have to give ownership to them for him to try it for a weekend is just stupid. So, yay. Okay, and now we get into that Project Destiny game that Bungie's been working on. That game looked really cool. It's really hard to describe if you haven't seen it. To me, it's like a combination of Fallout, Halo, and Borderlands all in one. Kind of a cluster of a game. Anyway, so it looked really cool. Like I said, I'm a big time gamer. I know this video is going long, and hopefully you guys are actually with me on this. So I've been talking a lot of games, but that's what E3 is. I get excited with E3 when it comes up every year. I'm a gamer at heart. I get excited to see what's coming out. I try not to get in the middle of all this competition crap because it's a good thing having both consoles, throwing jabs at each other, and the developers coming out and saying whatever like that. That's good because the competition makes everybody try harder. When they're trying harder, we are the ones that benefit from it, the gamers. We get to see the cooler games, the new features, the blah blah blah, all that stuff. So that is a good thing. Competition is good in this market. If one of them goes away, closes up shop, there's no competition. There's no reason to try hard anymore. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up before we get to 22 minutes. So hopefully you've stuck with me on this one. It's a long video, I know, and you're looking at my ugly mug for this long. But thank you so very much for all your support on this. I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown on this. Leave some comments. Tell me what games you like. Tell me what you did like, what you didn't like. I mean, just fill my comment section full of your thoughts on E3 because I like reading about them. I'm just a gamer at heart. So anyways, thank you guys so much for all your time. Y'all have a good one, and I will talk to you later.